Welcome to this episode of Shonen Flop, where we talk about manga and Shonen Jump that didn't make it big. I'm David.
I'm Jordan.
Next week, we'll be covering Don't Prism Solar Car, which I cannot believe is the actual name of a manga. That just sounds like something ChatGPT spit out.
It's like a code word, like an anagram for something.
Someone actually just got out their gun and is going to go shoot JFK.
They made an anagram for Prism Solar Car, and they're like, fuck, Daunton, is that a word?
Sure. If you'd like to read along with us, be sure to join the discussion in our Discord and submit your 6-word summary. You can find a link to the Discord in our episode description and on our website, shonenflop.com. But guess what, Jordan? It's been 5 fucking years,
Whoa!
and we have an extra special. We are joined by not 1, not 3, but 2 guests today. Who else could be our dynamic duo? But we have Shaun and Rem, or as I like to call them, Rem and Shaun.
They're going to use the fusion earrings to become Shrem.
Yeah, I think that's actually just honestly Dylan. Is their combined
form.
Yeah. Oh, man. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I need to again say that we contractually had to cover SWOT today. It was not handpicked. But as Jordan likes to brag about, saying, I would have made you suffer reading this if it was up to me anyway.
Yeah, you deserve this manga.
This is for you.
This is for you! Real fans will get that.
I'm going to note that on our podcast, Shaun has punished you guys, but all I've ever done is be punished.
Rem, you know what you fucking did.
I, at the warm-up audio, said, Rem, I know you're suffering. Is there any topic you would actually enjoy discussing for the next 15 minutes? And then you did not make use of your one safe haven in this recording.
Well, you used the safe haven to, like, shit on Witch Watch, which David loves.
That's true.
So that's,
Yeah.
so that's what you did. So, I mean, you know.
If Witch Watch was better, then I wouldn't have needed to
God
shit on
damn
it.
Damn!
God, that's so mean.
At least he's consistent.
At least he's consistent. Anyway, Rem, Shaun is stuck being a cat boy for some reason. Why don't you tell the audience, the 6 people listening that may not know about Anime Out of Context?
Sure thing. Anime Out of Context is a weekly podcast where myself and my lovely friend Remington Chase pick an anime, watch the first couple episodes of it usually, and make goofs and gaffs about why it's good, why it's bad, and all the other things in between. Unfortunately, the big caveat there is that Remington here doesn't really like anime.
Anything? Huh?
Oh, well, he likes some things, but not anything that usually shows up on the podcast, and that's where a lot of the humor and goofs come from. I, on the other hand, am speaking to you as a cat boy on the internet.
Yes.
You can't see the cat boy, but trust me, he's there.
We are currently speaking to a VTuber version of Shaun, which is in fact a cat boy. A very interesting decision to use a VTuber model in a fully audio medium.
Oh, this is specifically for you guys because of what you put us through.
You know what? That's fair. It's fair. It's brave and, dare I say it, like, worthy
Patriotic
of
even.
rewards. Yeah, patriotic is the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Well, hey, if you want to see the VTuber model yourself, you can show up on our Twitch channel, animeoutofcontext.twitch.tv, where I stream 2
Can I
weeks.
just have like a picture of Ravioli that's like a static image that just bounces like, you know, like an old DVD screen?
I mean, if you send me a background-less PNG of Ravioli, I can put him, like, in my lap.
Excuse me?
Excuse me.
I actually have those. I made Rachel a pair of pajamas that have Ravioli's face on them. So
Oh
I
my
actually do
God.
have those available.
That's great.
And yes, I did look into getting Ravioli Rachel pajamas, but they are actually very hard to get made now due to the tariffs.
Yeah, I feel like dogs don't respect pajamas all that well.
See, this is the worst thing the tariffs have done.
Yeah.
Yes.
VTubing?
This is what...
Yes.
Yeah, VTubing.
We need more VTubers.
We won't dive into the fight about why I think Witch Watch is good and Rem is wrong. As is
Because we're
normal.
talking about something very different today.
Yes, we all can agree that this is a very bad series, but we do need to actually talk a little bit about the making of this series. Let's get into the manga details. Jordan, take it away.
So, this is SWOT by Naoya Sugita. His other works include Zon, 2006, 2 volumes covered in episode 53 of our show. Hey, guys, would you believe that SWOT is an improvement over Zon?
I was telling Rem that while we were waiting for you guys to join.
I can't believe that.
Zon is worse than SWOT.
Zon may be honestly the worst drawn thing that's ever been in Shonen Jump.
Yes. Like, the art is improved in SWOT. I swear to God. But this guy also made Majin Bone.
This is what Zon looks like.
It looks the same but worse.
Exactly. That's a good description. It's the same as SWOT, but worse.
Yep. And now you didn't even know worse was possible for this.
Yeah. Majin Bone, which I guess means evil bone.
Yeah.
Matsuri Shinken, 2016-2017, 3 volumes, Shonen Jump Plus. According to MaxiB, it is a series that truly takes advantage of the more lax standards of Jump Plus to tell the tale of a skinhead oncel, I guess is that
probably incel.
Probably incel, who teaches girls in his school to be less uppity by blowing their clothes off with martial arts.
What the fuck?
It's because, now this is crazy, the women oppress the men. Oh, that's not so crazy. That's real life. Oh my god. It's an incel fantasy, yeah. It didn't win over the ecchi crowd, because Sugita, you may be shocked to hear this, is not good at drawing boobs.
That's the easiest crowd to win over.
I know! They don't even have high boob drawing standards.
I mean, in SWOT, I'll tell you right now, anytime there was fan service, it felt like I was getting slapped in the face. And it was so bad.
We have to talk about this guy's other series, which is like clearly his most popular one, the one that he probably be most known for. That is, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush, 2022 to 2024, 4 volumes in Saikyo Jump. So it's like his biggest work is an adaptation of fucking Yu-Gi-Oh!
And not even good Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
No, it's not even like a Yu-Gi-Oh! That anybody watched.
Like 5D's best Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes, 5D's is the best Yu-Gi-Oh! And it only went for 4 volumes.
Yeah.
Which is insane. I'll tell you right now, I did some auxiliary research after I finished reading this because I was like, he's got to have done something better by now, surely.
Yeah, you think?
If he's still working. And I looked into it. The fucking anime of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush has over 150 episodes.
Oops.
So he got 4 volumes. Do you know how bad you have to be to have your Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga get canceled?
I've talked to Maxie B, and I genuinely think the only explanation for this guy's career is his parents. He must be like the Jaden Smith of manga, where his dad must be like a big hotshot in some industry, and literally is like, we're not going to sign this deal unless you like give my kid like a manga slot in Shonen Jump or something, right?
The only explanation is that he's a Nepo baby. It just doesn't make sense otherwise.
Or he just gives amazing head. Anyway, we're getting into the publishing of SWOT, which ran from July 5th, 2010 to November 22nd, 2010. It replaced Lock On by Kenta Tsuchida, which is 2 volumes. That's a flop. Series that replaced it was Doi's Soul by Katsutoshi Murase, 2 volumes. That's a flop. Series that started at the same time as it, Omega Doki Zoo, or Ozu, as David calls it, by Kohei Horikoshi, who's famous for, that's right, Barrage, as well as he did something called My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
But Omega Doki Zoo went for 5 volumes. That's a minor flop. Episode 20 of our show. So flop, flop, flop. This was just a very floppy time for Shonen Jump.
I don't know if we should call it. I know it's the name of your show and all, but I feel like describing the whole time period is a little bit floppy.
It was the best of times. It was the floppiest of times.
I would just also like to point out that the series that replaced SWOT and the series it replaced had fewer volumes than SWOT. So, for some reason, the Shonen Jump editors determined that SWOT was slightly better than those series. I don't know why.
Yikes.
Again, his dad is the CEO of Sony.
Yeah, his dad is the CEO of Sony. His dad is actually Akira Toriyama. Like,
what if it's like another Miyazaki situation where Miyazaki just talks about how much he hates his son? And have you heard what his son said about Miyazaki?
no.
No.
He said, "Great filmmaker, terrible father." I mean, that's the whole point of the boy in the heron is how fucking much Miyazaki thought his son was a
Holy
disappointment.
shit.
Really?
That's the whole metaphor. Because it's all about, I have no one to leave my legacy to.
Oh my god.
Wink, wink, son who made 2 really bad Ghibli movies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just imagine watching that movie with
so
your dad,
fucked
and he's
up.
just like nudging you. He's like, "Hey, that's you." When he's talking about how much his son is a failure in the movie.
Oh god.
There's a bird with teeth. How does that make you feel?
What the hell?
Oh, I was also thinking about this. Sean, how come you don't have teeth in the anime out of context picture?
It's because Sean actually has no teeth in real life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at it while I was listening to your get my favorite show shitted on, but I was like, wait, where is Sean's teeth in this drawing?
Well, they're on the floor because you went into the past and knocked him out for what he said about Witch
Yeah.
Watch. No, Sean.
Anyway.
Sean actually plays hockey.
Okay,
Me
Jordan.
on a hockey rink.
He plays ice hockey in Utah. Anyway.
Which is hilarious because the only major, like, we have a hockey team. Like, aside from basketball, that is the one thing that we have as a claim to fame.
Yeah, the Utah Jazz, right? Or whatever.
And
That's the basketball team.
Okay, I don't really care.
It's not good.
All the Jazz in
good.
Utah. You know, that's what Utah's famous for.
Yeah, of course.
The Lakers in LA.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, we're not talking about basketball right now. We're talking about SWOT. And that is SWOT. It is not a SWAT team. So if you get swatted, it's different.
And that's what we did to Shaman Rem.
Yeah, we swatted them.
As a special event tie into the episode.
I mean, the amount of people that probably wish they could do something horrible like that to us, according to our emails, is higher than we would like.
Yeah.
We never get any really mad people, which I guess is because we only cover things that aren't canceled, so they don't have a large fan base.
Like literally, we have had our cover art for sale for a long time, but like very few people buy it because who the fuck wants a like SWAT shirt? Nobody cares about the series that we make these shirts about.
Yeah, but I do care about hearing about the rest of this, Jordan.
Yeah, all right, let's get to the plot.
Rem, why don't you read that first paragraph that starts with that Japanese word I'm not going to try and say?
His name.
Manabizaki is an asshole nerd who wants to study all the time so he can get into the best college and build a UFO. To achieve this, he decides to transfer to a school with a high rate of acceptance to Todai University. Oh no, it was a trick and they actually have a high rate of delinquents! Oh no! Shockingly, though, Manabizaki is really fucking strong, even if he's a selfish prick. He saves a weak kid named Iwashida from some bullies, causing him to put on a hard hat and become Manabizaki's disciple. Then, a girl with big weird boobs named Hasuno shows up to ask Manabizaki to help her study. She used to be a high-ranking gang member, but decided to leave because she just wants to be a kindergarten teacher because she's a woman. And that's what they do.
They just teach kindergarten classes. It's like, that is what girls these days do.
Hey, don't worry, it's not the only job a woman is allowed. We'll get another job later.
They just become kindergarten teachers, eat hot chip and lie, and that's a meme.
And they can become nurses. They can also become nurses.
True.
Or teachers. Don't forget teachers.
That's true.
They can only become nurses if they wear, like, the sexy Halloween costume for nurses.
That was out of style when this manga was written.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Rem, say popcorn, Sean.
What the fuck do you call me?
God damn it, say popcorn, Sean! God damn it!
Popcorn, Sean.
Thank you! Sean, go, read!
Okay, thank you. All right.
I've never seen Jordan this mad before.
Manabizaki immediately falls in love with her, but doesn't know what love is because he's a nerd who only has eyes for aliens. I don't know, Manabizaki. Beats up some other dudes, blah blah blah. Do I really have to do this? In order to save Hasuno, they fight the Swastika gang, whose leader is the Führer of the Swastika.
Yes.
It's important because he fails a test in order to save her because his glasses break. And Manabizaki fights Yamikura Kori, the fighting maniac who fights.
Well, he's a maniac that fights. It's important to note, yeah.
It's a maniac that fights, yes, of course. About halfway through, the author realizes that he forgot to put in a plot, so a tiny gang called Pandemonium shows up. They want to reach the Teppen, which is the king of the school, because they are promised their dead friend that they would. The gang consists of a big leader, Todo, a girl, Okiku, and a baseball guy. That is the whole gang, and let me just say, man, does this guy not understand how plot works.
No.
Not at all.
Now say popcorn, Jordan.
Do it, you slut.
Popcorn Jordan.
Okiku confronts Hasuno and, in a conversation that surprisingly passes the Bechdel test, says that she ruined her life by teaching her karate because now she has to fight all the time. Manabizaki then fights Todo, who reveals the power system of the manga, Resolve. His resolve gives him super punches, but oh shit, Manabizaki has reverse resolve, which is even better, I think. Manabizaki wins and Pandemonium becomes his followers. There is a subplot where both Okiku and Hasuno are secretly in love with Manabizaki now, but of course things keep getting in the way of them confessing, oh, it's a comedy of errors. Then a random student buys some porn and tells them that he heard a guy named Owai say that reverse resolve is like fucking OP and rare as hell. It turns out that the guy who said that is Owai. Oh my god, he tricked them. What the fuck? And he's the leader of the biggest gang of seniors in the school. I think he's the Teppen. I don't know if they actually say that, but I think that he is.
They don't.
Yeah, she's just at the Teppen festival wearing the Teppen crown and everyone bows to him.
Yeah.
But we still don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure. You know, Popcorn David.
I'm just waiting for Rem to be like, these plot twists were way too obvious. What was it?
Yeah.
Could have seen that a mile away in this.
I had almost the opposite problem, and I'm still like, even now, I felt so fucking stupid reading this, because I was like, is there something I'm missing? Is there some, like, grander thing? Like,
Guess what, Rem? Whatever. It doesn't matter, because the guy with an eye patch named Shiraki is having his gang inject resolve juice, TM, into people to turn them berserk, TM, and give them resolve powers that will kill them within hours. They got Ishida, not my Ishiwata. I said it wrong the first time. I'm not going back. Manabizaki needs the antidote, so he fights the super eye patch guy, who of course fights using eyeballs. He can also summon 2 big knives. Chudu jumps in and defeats him, but oh no, he injected himself with the resolve juice, which activates his Bankai, TM, which I think is more of the same, but stronger. Manabizaki activates resolve and wins. Owai then uses what is apparently his very robust operation to mass produce the antidote, and the day is saved. Then there's a final chapter where Manabizaki almost sees a UFO, but is stopped by the leader of a rival school, so they fight. Also, the principal goes to jail for some reason.
Oh, you're right. I totally forgot. All the quote-unquote plot was, like, masterminded by the evil principal.
Who just shows up in that chapter.
Who just shows up twice in the whole manga, and it's like, who the fuck is this?
there were so many times while reading where I was like, there has to be something I'm missing that makes it all, like, coherent and together.
No.
I was like, surely there's got to be something, but there never was.
Also, I just got a notification from my phone that a new Witch Watch chapter came out. I just wanted to...
Yeah.
All right.
And before we move on too far, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Hey, David, could you read that name that I just highlighted real quick for me?
Keanu Reeves.
No, that's not what you said.
Todu.
That's what I thought you said.
Oh, wow. Sean, brand new territory shitting on David for mispronouncing something. That's the free space on Shonen Flop bingo, my guy.
Hey, David, say the word adaptation.
Adaptation.
Wow. Okay.
If you're saying it wrong, because it's adaption, bitch.
There we go. There we go.
Sean, why don't you tell us about Manabizaki, the glasses, main character.
That guy with the glasses.
That guy with the... Fuck, that's a good one.
I mean, if you want me to talk about Doug Walker, I can, but I don't think that's...
We did have somebody from Channel
We
Awesome
just
on
had
last
Mars
episode.
Girl on.
Yeah.
So we had some Channel Awesome alumni on the show.
Yes, but Manabizaki Kyou, OU is usually O, just as frame of reference.
Take that, David.
Which is why the Pokemon Raikou is...
This is what I have to deal with over on our podcast. All the fucking
You know what's
time.
funny? I've been to Japan twice and I still don't give a shit.
Most people don't. But yeah, his character traits are as follows. Smart. He has glasses. Those are the qualifiers for being smart,
Yeah,
apparently.
pretty much, yeah.
Well, he's literally like, I can't do well in school without my glasses. That is actually a plot point.
Yeah, it's like, I am obsessed with studying. I study too fucking much. But I'm also really fucking stupid and got tricked by a flyer that said, like...
it's crazy that they're introducing the character, right? They're like, oh, he's so smart. Also, one of the earliest things you learn about him is that he can't fucking read.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. I don't know if you have a spot for it because I didn't see it in the notes, but SWOT? Who the fuck knows what a SWOT is? Anybody here? Have you heard the term before this manga?
Do you know how many people in Japan I asked and none of them knew what a SWAT was because they didn't speak English?
I Googled it, and it is a British term.
It is a British slang term that the Brits don't even use.
Maxi B is British, and they did not leave a note about that.
Yeah, it's an old British term for somebody who is obsessed with studying.
And again, it's not a slang term that is used in the modern day.
Yeah.
I just love how his character development is learning that there's more to life than grades, and he learns at chapter 3 and then just abandons all of his academics.
Yeah, like, they try to establish his character. They do so poorly because he's the most stupidly written smart character I've ever seen. And then the, like, quote-unquote character development is just abandoning the one-dimensional character he had.
Yeah, no, he realizes maybe I do actually care about Hasuno, like, immediately. And then it's like, so what is this character?
Well, I mean, the cancellation deadline was coming up, apparently.
Chapter 3.
Oh, yeah, that too.
You know what? The writing was kind of on the wall.
You don't
by that
even
point,
know
actually.
how well your series is doing until chapter 8.
Yeah.
Look, man, I could tell you how bad the series was in chapter 1.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we all, you don't have to be Rem to think this is terrible.
And chapter 1 is probably the best chapter.
That is true. It does actually have a good joke. Anyway, Rem, would you tell us about Ishiwada?
Look, I wish there was more to say. So Ishiwada is the plot device because there's no way to naturally or organically move the plot forward or have characters interact and engage with one another. So you just kind of have Ishiwada who's like, all right, time to push the plot forward, time for these people to interact. And it's not a subtle tool. It's not a good tool, but Ishiwada is the tool that they have.
He has a hard hat, and
That is his defining character trait.
And it looks like the guy from Mega Man.
well, it's the hard hat that is also used for the Mets in Mega Man. But, like, I think the story is that I haven't read the one-shot because why the fuck would I intentionally inflict myself with more SWOT? But I think in the one-shot, he doesn't have the hard hat. Yeah, that hard hat. Shaun just put the hard hat on his Catboy VTuber, which all the listeners will appreciate.
He just already had that ready.
Yeah, he had that ready. I think in the one-shot, he didn't have the hard hat, and the author was like, damn, he looks very generic. I'll just give him a hard hat. He basically becomes Manabizaki's follower because he's strong, and he has a sister who's hot with big boobs and is a nurse. I don't know if there's anything else to his character besides what we said.
I don't even know. All right, and then I'll talk about Hasuno Nene. She has big boobies. She's a woman, and the author really wants you to know women are not useful in this series and should only be sexualized because they were like, she is like, she fights a lot. She's rough, just like the boys, and then instantly discards any of those traits after the first chapter.
Yeah, it's weird that, like, the introduction sort of sets it up to be this intimidating force. Like, oh, she's someone to be reckoned with. And then it's just like,
Yeah, they're like, she's fighting someone? No, she's too delicate and weak.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
I think the first thing we see is that she beats up a group of people and then she never displays like any aptitude for fighting ever again.
I mean, she gets her ass kicked by the one guy from Pandemonium. That was something.
Yeah.
She gets jobbed a lot.
Yeah.
Her boobs look very weird.
Yeah.
As Maxie B noted, the author, though he enjoys drawing tits, is not good at drawing tits.
Yeah.
I would wager I could do a better job, and I'm not an artist.
They're like coming out of her stomach sometimes. Very strange understanding of anatomy this guy has.
Which is unfortunate. Unfortunate when her tits are so poorly drawn, considering that is one of her main personality traits. So it's just one of those things where it's like, man.
It's true. I mean, that is one of the only things that distances her design from the other female characters.
Yeah, they all look similar.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that the size keeps changing from panel to panel.
Oh, yeah, just and
Yeah.
then when she's in that uniform, or she's in the maid outfit, it just gets ridiculous.
And then they go to the hospital, and the nurses all have bigger boobs than her.
I actually want to throw back to the original cover art for our first visit of SWOT. I kept reading it, and I kept telling our artist, you have to make her breast bigger, because it kept getting bigger throughout the series. So she redrew it, I think, 4 times. To be accurate of the end of series breast size that she had.
Look, it's legitimately, this is just how they are. Okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right, and then Jordan, why don't you tell us about Edgy McEdgelord?
So Yamikura Kuri is, he's Edgy McEdgerson, like Shadow the Hedgehog motherfucker. Hilariously edgy. Like, kind of accidentally the best character in the series.
Yeah.
He's like the one with like the most multifaceted stuff. Kind of, because he's like this edgy guy. His attack is literally called Chaos.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, where's the rest of the description of this?
It's literally my attack.
Chaos control.
Not even control.
Yeah.
But he also has a part-time job at a like convenience store and enjoys cleaning.
Yeah.
Which end up making him sort of have a little bit of depth in comparison to the other characters.
Legitimately think this is an accident, but the author actually keeps making him really funny because he has him have like all these traits that are really funny with how edgy he is otherwise.
Yeah.
How he like actually takes school very seriously and they like run into him in the library just studying like a normal person. Or when they're at the cafe and he's just like at the cafe eating a slice of cake like as a completely normal person.
But then, like, he's the fighting maniac, they call him. He who is obsessed with fighting.
I call him Long Sasuke.
Yeah, he is definitely Sasuke.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
he looks
long.
exactly like Sasuke. He looks exactly like Sasuke though.
How he is drawn in some of the scenes is strange.
Really, tell us more about this, Shizuya.
Can you elaborate?
I feel uncomfortable when I see his shape and proportions. Which is also how I've described my good friend Sean Rollins. So
Our catboy extraordinaire.
our Cowboys are
Look, man, if you weren't going to make the joke, I was.
Oh my god. It's like in that movie where Willem Dafoe is naked and they had to like
Just give him a stunt dick.
his body so he had a smaller dick because he had a quote-unquote confusingly large penis.
I have a friend actually who had that, where his work uniform, they had to break protocol and give him a larger pair of pants
Oh my god.
His dick
because
was
someone said it was making them uncomfortable. Anyway, speaking of things that make me uncomfortable, I kind of feel like maybe we should do what it did well first.
Yeah, we should reverse it. Yeah, get it out of the way.
So as a throwback, when we used to do what we did well first, let's go do that. What did you enjoy about this, Rem?
I'm amazed that you guys have anything on the fucking list.
It's a short list.
I tried to like rack my brain to find any credit I could meaningfully give. I genuinely can't think of something that I would say like, oh yeah, that's something it objectively did well. I guess there are certain brief portions where I'm like, oh, that's not as bad, or oh, maybe if this was executed better, it might be kind of amusing. But that's not doing something well. That's just it being slightly less shit. I can't think of anything that it actually did well, that like it jumped into the territory of good. It just doesn't occur.
I mean, here's the thing. If you read the notes that David has on what it did well, it's like, it's not as terrible as the author's previous manga.
Yeah,
It tries to make the side characters do something, and
it does.
Which is that's crazy to compliment it on, where it's like, it tries, but it doesn't really succeed at having characters do things.
It's like trying to console a child, really.
Yes.
yeah, and we kind of hate it less than we did last time, just because, I don't know, it's not like a pedophile manga. Like, that's the bar we're working with, guys.
I worry for you boys. I worry that your frame of reference is so broken that you're like, at least this is inoffensive. Look, it may not be offensive in the same way as a pedophile manga, but it is deeply offensive in just quality.
Rem,
hurts me.
we are contractually, legally obligated to come up with some positives for this series. I don't know what we're supposed to do, okay? We're trying, all right?
I'm trying, boss. Okay, you know what? For the sake of this, let me get the list and see. In our official ranking list, we said there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 series we have read that we consider worse than this series.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That is how you do not know how low the bottom of the barrel goes, my friend.
Yeah, but this is also like, what episode are we on right now? Like
128.
128. So like, that's still really bad. Like,
Yeah.
I just miss when I was reading a manga about the sentient statue of David. I missed that.
oh, that
Yeah.
series is like fucking One Piece compared to SWOT.
Yeah,
Like-
or what we had Rem read. Hungry Marie was also way better than this.
Oh, Hungry Marie is way better than SWOT. Come on. Like,
Look, out of the 3 that I've read on your podcast, SWOT is the worst.
yes.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if it wasn't. Like,
Yeah.
because holy shit. Oh my God, we're still in the positives.
Yeah,
God
all
damn
right,
it.
I'm gonna go through some positives real quick, and then we'll really dive into it. I had something. What was it? Oh, I think there's at least one gag I thought was kind of funny when they go into the exam room and there's like a bin of weapons, and it says no weapons around in the no weapons allowed in the exam room.
That's an example of a joke that I like the idea of.
Not the execution.
And I'm going to be real honest, I completely missed that joke the first time I read through it.
Here's actually, I think, the cleverest thing this series did. They actually subtly hint at that guy telling them about whatever the power system is, like shitty Bankai, whatever, that he is the boss because they know the boss is a 3rd year, and he's shown buying a porn mag, which means he has to be 18. I genuinely think that is the cleverest, most subtle world building this author did in his entire 20-chapter run of this series, was saying, I'm going to hit this guy as 18 years old because we're going to show him purchasing porn.
Except this is a delinquent school, so...
No, but he bought it. He bought it at like a 7-Eleven where they ID'd him.
This is truly damning with faint praise. It's
yes,
just...
Ren, that's true. That's all we're doing. We admit that. I mean, also, I'll go further. This is one of the greatest unintentional parodies of manga I've ever read.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. It's the edginess is so fucking funny in this series. Oh my god, but I feel like I have to wait for the negatives to talk about it.
Which, how about Jordan? We go do that right now.
Let's do it right now.
Catboy Shaun, why don't you
Yes.
drop us some negatives, Cat Daddy?
So you just want me to talk for the rest of the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, go
We
ahead. Try.
We have 27 minutes left of this record. No.
Okay, well, oh man, like your bulleted list, like you had to abridge some things I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so the art is one of the worst art I've ever seen in a manga. It's amazing that this,
Yeah, Zon is worse.
Oh my god.
but the fact that he got fully published in what is supposed to be like the manga magazine for Shonen is insane.
But Shaun, he didn't get published once. He got published twice in Weekly Shonen Jump.
I'm not here to talk about past failures. I'm here to talk about current failures. We kind of already went over it. A SWOT doesn't make any fucking sense. It's a slang term that he probably Googled and thought, oh yeah, I'm going to try and turn this into a slur. And let's see, the paneling is awful. The art is awful. The protagonist is kind of the worst. He has all the bad traits of a tsundere, all the bad traits of a shonen protagonist, all the bad traits of any aggressive character ever.
But everyone worships him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Even though there's no reason to. Let's see. All the characters are paper thin. I mean, well, they are printed on manga, so that does make some sense.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's true. Yeah.
Yes. The first chapter really sucks. I mean, yeah. The plot makes no sense. Look, man. Look, I'm just looking at this list and I'm like, man, it's just so universally bad. There are hard things to talk. It's hard to talk about things.
Can I touch on why I feel like personally bullied by SWAT?
Sure.
Because you love studying.
And you're a SWAT.
Certainly. I wouldn't disagree with those things, but that's not why I feel personally bullied. I've touched on this podcast before when I've previously been a guest how I don't really know how to read manga, right? I know how, but like my brain doesn't want to. It doesn't work out because I don't know how to process the information as naturally. So I'll have it's like pictures and then the words or vice versa. Here's the thing though. When it comes to trying to read SWOT, especially early on those handful of early chapters, you have art that is so not just like low quality, but also so like crowded and at times unclear and at times like too cramped. And so it's not as easy to even understand at a glance what the fuck is going on. Then the text, it's so low quality and so often there's not a meaningful through line. The characters don't talk or interact like people. The plot is awful, so I'm trying to make sense of it all.
And
right?
the translation is bad.
And the translation is bad. So all of this is happening. I truly am just like, am I a fucking dumbass? What the fuck is going on? I've been on this podcast before. I've been a guest and I didn't have these struggles as bad with Hungry Marie. I didn't have these problems nearly as bad with Ichinose Deadly Family Sins. I didn't have, but this, it was fucking decoding a goddamn riddle with each page where I had to put a deliberate effort into interpreting what the fuck I was even seeing.
The thing is, those two authors that you noted also have successful manga. They understand, at least on a fundamental level, how to tell a story in this kind of visual medium in some way. This author has no clue how to tell a story.
He has yet to create any form of quality.
Holy shit, you mentioned that it was cramped and the text was confusing. That's because there's so much text. Like half of this manga is bubbles. Word bubbles.
Then the text it's not like doing anything. Like the text, it's not
No!
doing anything meaningful or interesting. So it's like my eyes are starting to glaze over because it's just there. The text just exists to exist.
I had a note where I was like, it feels like there's just like, I'm reading so much text, but there actually isn't that much written on each page because it's so fucking pointless.
You could sum up so much of it. It's the Control-Alt-Delete of manga, where you could just simplify everything into like 2 or 3 word bubbles, but instead we're going to stretch it out so that I swear to God, the majority of this manga is word bubbles of nonsense. It may as well just be lorem ipsum for most of it. Like on a fundamental storytelling level, SWOT is a fucking failure.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that even if the protagonist was somewhat likable, I can't respect his goal at all. I don't think we mentioned it, but his goal is to build a working UFO so he can see aliens.
So UFO, it's not a spaceship, right? He doesn't want to build a spaceship.
UFO? If you make a UFO, you have identified the UFO.
Yeah.
So it's a flying object that you know about.
No, he just gets a concussion and forgets that he built it because he's constantly fighting.
Yeah.
Like maybe he wants to build a flying saucer, which I kind of like. Why? Or maybe he wants to build an alien craft, which doesn't make any sense. But UFO, why? Why the word UFO?
His personality does not betray his intelligence at all, because, like, you would think somebody like him would be pedantic or use, I don't know, the correct words when talking about something he cares about. But, like, no, he's a fucking idiot.
He's the most stupidly written, intelligent character where we're always told how smart he is, right? We're always told how intelligent he is, but anything he does, anything he does is so dumb.
It always makes me think of The Room where they talk about how Johnny's a nice guy and then Johnny's a fucking asshole to everybody. Yeah.
Or in Star Wars, was it Attack of the Clones where they talk about how they're friends in an elevator?
Yeah.
Where they're just like, we're such good friends.
Oh my
you
God.
and me, Anakin. The art is bad. The paneling also has a lot of continuity issues. Like, you'll see characters sitting down and then randomly standing in an art panel. Or, like, in the first chapter, they have, like, this weird time skip where, like, she just, like, fuck, I don't even know how to describe it. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. But the series has no, like, thesis to it. Like, he's trying to beat up everyone so he can study, but then he's like, I don't care about studying anymore. So why does he need to fight everyone in the school anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not, like, a meaningful through line. It feels like it keeps changing its mind on what it is or wants to be.
Which is very common in bad manga series we've covered.
And then there's just the most generic random power system suddenly.
Can someone please explain to me? Because it's like, I
No.
understand on the most basic level, but I'm like, what the fuck are we talking? What is the power system? Is it just...
Let me tell you, Rem, have you ever seen Dragon Ball, Rem?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how they can fire energy blasts and they get really strong by charging up?
Yep.
Because they're charging their ki or their chi, you know,
Sure,
the power of willpower. So he essentially took the most generic baseline power source and was just like, yeah, there's ki in this manga now. Even though they were already doing things that felt like
Does
ki
it really
feats.
just boil down to, because this is my understanding, we have special energy and can do stuff with special energy, and that's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
But
Yes.
also, one of the characters' powers is to just summon 2 big knives.
Yeah. Which actually, Jordan, it's pretty similar to the Nen system in Hunter x Hunter when you think about it.
Yeah,
Don't compare the two.
Yeah.
Do not compare a wonderful system.
I thought this was We Have Pocky at Home, but this is definitely We Have Nen at Home.
This show doesn't have, like, a clear, specific vision. It just wants to borrow generic bullshit from other stuff, and it doesn't know how to use those well, so it'll just toss them in.
I really need to mention the most hilarious edgy moment in this entire series. I don't think I even noticed it happened the first time I read it because I can't believe I would have forgotten it. But the main bad guy who has like an eye patch, it appears randomly in the last section of the manga.
Yeah.
He, to show how edgy he is, takes a big knife and smears blood on the bread and then eats it.
You gotta get your protein, brother.
Like, I'm so edgy, I use blood as my jelly. Like, what the fuck, man? Blooder.
I'm gonna be honest, it looks more like jelly than it does blood. Like, because genuinely, like, it's stringy. It looks viscous and thick, which blood can get viscous and thick, but it takes time.
God, it's old blood. Oh.
Yeah.
What if that's his power, is he turns blood into jelly?
And I also love how the guy with the eye patch fights by using eyeballs. Like, he just throws disembodied eyeballs at the
Which
main
are perfectly
character.
circular. They're like billiard balls.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have so many eyeballs? What the fuck? I don't know.
I mean, considering he's a character who is lacking one in his head, like you'd think, problem would be solved.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god. The composition in this series is fucking dreadful. The proportions are insane. Like, we get like yaoi proportions sometimes. Like, it's
Ton of yaoi hands.
the hands are the worst drawn hands I have ever seen. Like, holy shit, there's sometimes like missing part of the bone. There's at least one where I'm looking at it and the hand looks like an optical illusion. It's so bad. It's like
Yeah.
AI level hands.
This
Yeah.
dude would have loved AI if it existed in 2010.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, this series is literally just a explanation of what happens if you skip learning the fundamentals before you start making a manga.
Which is insane. Because, like, when we talk about mangaka with bad art but great story, we look at one. His art is very, it would be considered poorer quality compared to a lot of great mangaka. And yet, everything he does is way clearer, way better proportioned, way better framed, and way better paneled.
And here's the thing, you could have like some really like shitty art and whatever, right? And it could still be acceptable if perhaps you had a particularly original story that is told in a unique way, right? And then you'd be like, well, it's ugly, but it's so different, it's so original. This is not that. This is not that at all.
I would argue that one, it's not that he's a bad artist. His drawing is very rudimentary, but he has like great composition and he's very good at like setting up a shot so you can like understand what's happening and communicate things, This guy doesn't even understand that you can even do that, that's a fundamental thing.
I struggled so much because there were multiple panels where I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is this?
The author doesn't know either. Also, the fights end so abruptly. It's always like they have a back and forth, and then it's like one attacking the guy just falls over and dies.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really call them fights is the thing.
Slap and tickle.
Even the effects work is fucking insane. Sometimes I don't think this guy knows what an impact frame looks like.
No.
Well, all the frames are squares, like our main character.
God, some of the lines in this series are hilarious. I'm going to turn this school into a hell of blood. Amazing. Toto's ultimate attack is ultimate hell's punch. Like, a lot of hell.
I like how the first guy to have resolve, it's literally just makes him stronger, so it doesn't it's probably the most boring possible application of the power system.
Yeah, my punches get strong.
It's not just a lack of quality, though. Boy, oh boy, there's a lack of quality. There's a lack of imagination or creativity.
This is the most hilariously generic manga ever made. This is like...
You know what this manga is? This is what it would be like in a gag comedy manga if we were looking at like an excerpt from a manga from a Chunibyo character who is writing their own manga.
That's the thing.
That's what Jordan had said. This is a great unintentional parody of shitty manga.
This is a fake manga.
Yeah.
This manga isn't real. It's fake. Like, it's
like
a
Build
joke.
King.
Yeah, but like more so even. Like, you would see a manga of this level or even slightly better on DeviantArt in like 2008. Like,
But here's the thing. I wish that it was like, oh, and it's so bad, it's good. And it has like brief moments, like you mentioned, that like almost work as that. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, it doesn't reach the heights of, for example, The Room. For the most part, it's just so bad, it's really, really, really fucking bad.
well, because it's
like-
painful to read.
Yes, it's so...
It's not even so bad it's good, which we have definitely read before. This is just bad. It's not fun to read this.
No, it is difficult to get through. Oh my god, this series reminded me most of, have you guys ever seen the old Newgrounds Flash series, Shin?
Oh, you brought this up the last time we talked about this
Yeah,
series.
of course I did, because it reminds me of it so much.
Yeah.
It's a really shitty Flash series that was very impressive for the time, considering I think it was made by a 14-year-old or something. Like,
Probably. It's just about a bunch of kids fighting in a school.
fighting in a high school. It's like kind of the exact same plot as SWOT, except actually better told.
I was literally gonna say in this episode, if SWOT was written by like a 12-year-old, right? Then I'd be like, look, this is absolute trash, but you put the effort in, kid, so maybe you can learn from it. Which it sounds like that's just Shin.
Yeah, pretty
but
much.
Instead this is like, oh, it's shit and you should know better and you are not learning or improving and you're still somehow being allowed to create more.
You're still working and you're still bad.
Yeah, we talked about this when we covered Zon as well. We legitimately were like, this would not have been bad if a high schooler had made it. But on the topic of creativity, why don't we get into where it could have gone?
Yeah.
Jordan, what are some things you would have... Actually, you know what? Sorry. I want to bring Rem back. Get out of here, Rem. What would you have done? What would you have done to have made this series salvageable?
So one thing that I love doing on Anime Out of Context, I will often script doctor and come up with ideas on like what could have been done better. So this section, it's like, oh, perfect for me. Here's one of the issues I have an idea on like where it could have gone, but one of the difficulties I had with this was it lacks a clear direction all the time. It keeps changing its mind. It doesn't commit to anything. And so it's like, okay, so what do we want to take and emphasize then? Because it could be a million different things that it abandons. Ultimately, I think the point we take, we talked briefly about how like Yamikura is the most developed character, even though it's still
Grading
lacking.
on a massive curve.
And so here's what I'm thinking, all right? First of all, this whole SWOT thing, you just kind of get rid of that. Instead, you have this delinquent school, all right? And what I'm imagining is we take Yamikura and have you guys seen Tangled?
Yeah.
You guys know when all of the brutes and the thugs start singing about their hobbies and passions and what they actually care about, right? That's the direction I would take with this, where it's like, oh, look at all these delinquents and stuff that are going on, and you just have a character come in that helps them find their true passions and what they really care about. And it's like, oh, I actually love baking, and so you become great at that, all right?
Are you thinking of like High School Musical, but like
yes, 100%.
But like Yamikura is like the main character of High School Musical? Oh god,
yes.
that's actually
yes,
awesome. Like
because there's no material in SWOT that I really want to keep, but I'm like, I don't know, if we just isolate Yamikura as one character and then just build it off from there, I guess, then maybe it is at least salvageable.
He just wants to be a baker, or he just wants to be a hostess.
I love the idea of like a really edgy character who's trying to like grow past his edge and like kind of find out who he is like once he like chills out, but like can't because he's just like he's got chaos inside of him.
And like lean into the melodramatic edge of it all, even while they're like finding their passions and hobbies, like they still have those habits they need to break out of.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like, no, I shall not decapitate this person this time. Like some shit like that. Like, no, I must not do chaos control. It is not the time. I must continue baking this bread.
Yeah, somebody insults his bread or is like, it's just okay. And like he gets ready to kill them, but then the main character is like, no.
No.
I'm just imagining he's using his fucking powers to summon his knife to cut the bread.
No, okay, here's the thing. Completely remove the power system, but have people still, like, have special moves. And at first, they're edgy fighting special moves, but then they become whatever, like, they're passionate about. So in this case, it'd be, like, a bread-making special move.
You just want Reigen Arataka's special move series, the anime, Rem.
Sure, yeah.
Sounds great.
Because I want to see what you guys think, like, oh, where could it have gone? Because truly, I think any direction that you're like, here's how to improve SWOT, it starts by removing most of the whole thing.
Amputation is required to save this patient.
Step
Doctor.
one, simplify all the text. Like, the way I would fix this is to get it from being so bad it's bad to so bad it's good. Because I don't see how you would make it good, but I can see how you can make it so bad it's good. Like,
I was with Rem, though, where I fought a shift. What if it's about the school admins dealing with the state of this school? Like, who the fuck is paying for these walls that they're destroying,
like,
right?
Yeah, it might have made sense if they bring in this SWAT character in order to try and be like, oh, he's a study guy. He'll make people study more, but that's not even remotely what happens. So it's like, why did you bring him in?
I had that too, where it was like stand and deliver for fighting.
Oh man, like, I guess the actual good version of this manga is Cromartie High.
Yes. I think that was my recommendation last time.
It was
we
one
reviewed.
of our recommendations last time.
Yeah, have you guys covered that?
We have not. We have not. The only reason we haven't is because
Rem hates Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury is a character in
What the fuck?
in Cromartie High.
yeah.
What the hell?
It's a full gag manga, and the only reason we haven't covered it is because it's a little hard to discuss gag shows
Yeah.
on the podcast, so I have to do them infrequently. But it's been on my list for years. It's a very silly, stupid show that could be fun to talk about in the
There you
future.
go. The next time you need to have Rem destroy something I love, you can do Cromartie High School. All right, Sean, though, I think you haven't had much of a chance to talk. What are some changes you would like to have made?
God, man, what has been said hasn't already been said. What could we have done here? If we wanted to keep the core premise of a smart guy accidentally joining a delinquent high school and having to deal with it, like, the first thing they could have done is not made him a perfect fighter to start with.
Or like justify it. Like I thought they were gonna be like, oh, he's good at fighting because he's smart and like studied all these fighting techniques really intensely because he studies everything. No, there's no justification. There's no explanation.
Like, genuinely, what they could have done is, first of all, make him not great at fighting and actually have him use his intellect to try and get out of fighting situations.
Yeah.
But also, while he's stuck in the situation, he's gonna have to learn how to fight because otherwise he might fucking die.
I'm gonna build on that, right? I'm gonna yes and that, but let's not even have him specifically learn how to fight. Rather, when he meets, what was the girl's name? What's the...
Hasuno.
Oh man, she was so memorable.
Yeah, Hasuno. he meets Hasuno, right? He's smart and doesn't know how to fight, but he understands fighting on like an intellectual level. Hasuno, maybe make her like she's plucky and stubborn, but her technique is lacking. And so he can like coach her on like how to become a better fighter, what the other techniques are, and she like defends him because he can't defend himself.
I really like that.
And
Yeah.
Oh my god, you've turned him into a Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
I love
yeah,
it.
you have like an interesting dynamic, and he's like, hey, this is where your fighting style is lacking. Here, your weakness is. I've noticed this about their fighting style. Here's what you need to do. And like then, first of all, you'd have a better dynamic between them. That's something at least. And then two, you don't have as much of a generic main character. It's still not great, but it's better.
He's less of a Mary Sue.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also love there was a scene where he's like fighting people with a giant protractor, and what if that was his resolve?
He can summon a giant protractor.
He had power school, like, actual study material. Like, he beats a guy with a book, and what if that was his power?
At one time, he throws like 100 pencils at somebody.
And it doesn't do anything, and then he blocks him out the next page.
It's like there are brief moments where it's like implied the author wanted him to be able to throw like school stuff, like his main weapon is a book, but it's barely used.
He's wielding a fucking stapler, opens it up in like nunchucks.
Yeah. Oh, God.
We're getting off topic. Let's get into miscellaneous spots. How about that, boys?
Yeah.
So, Jordan, is there anything you feel like you haven't a chance to bring up yet?
They do go to a maid cafe.
They do. They leave the school. That's
They
impressive.
leave the school and they go to a fucking maid cafe. And oh my God, would you believe that both of the female characters that we've met work there? No way! Oh my God, holy shit. And of course, the two female main characters are in love with the main character. Like, of course.
Well, that's the only reason they exist, you see.
Yes.
That's the only reason they're there.
Every time I see a maid cafe, all it makes me do is one of my favorite scenes from Dawn to Dawn is when Momo works at a maid cafe and says, "What do you want, you sack of shit?"
Which that's how you do a maid cafe joke.
Yeah,
you don't
it's
do
true.
You don't do this.
Yeah.
This is just an excuse to sexualize the characters in a very poorly thought out way.
Like, how did they approve uniforms like this for 16-year-olds?
Look, if we're gonna get into why maid cafes even exist, that's a whole other complex.
Yeah, I had to explain that to Rachel while we were in Japan.
I can't wait to take Remington to Japan and make him go to a maid cafe. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, and the maids are all men. Oh, you should take Rem to the Muscle Girl Cafe.
I was just about to bring that one up, yeah.
Hell yeah. I didn't have a chance to go.
It's like Hooters, kind of. Like, is how I would describe it. The closest American analog. But yeah, anyway. Of course, it's like the two female characters work there. And of course, the one with the huge boobs is there so we can have the wonderfully drawn boobs.
Yeah, that don't
The orbs that are slapped onto the torso.
that are about 6 inches too low on her
Yeah,
chest.
they come out of her solar plexus.
What is that, a Dragon Ball Z attack?
Yeah. Solar plexus.
Okay, but Rem, did you have any other miscellaneous thoughts?
I know, it's just astonishing how SWOT is a show that does literally everything wrong in the least interesting ways. It's baffling, and it would be impressive if it wasn't also so mind-numbing.
I know.
Yeah. Also, this made me think about something we talked about earlier. So where was his middle school academic advisor that should have blocked him from enrolling in the wrong high school if he had such good
Well,
grades?
he transferred. So he was already in high school, and then he transferred.
But shouldn't someone have talked to him about this?
Well, here, it's crazy how uninterested the manga was in its own premise.
Yes.
Yeah.
From the get-go, it's like, oh, how is he in this scenario? I don't know, this stupid bullshit. And this is the premise of the show. Never mind. What about we do this instead? And it's like, so how is this ever sold? How is this marketed? Because you immediately abandoned the origins and the premise, and just none of it matters. Nothing matters.
I think I remember we had Audrey on our original covering of this, and I think she said that like people were like excited for this at first for some reason. Like
what?
Like
I don't even remember
people
that.
liked the one shot for some reason.
That's the only reason I can imagine this getting serialized, is that the one shot was interesting enough to intrigue people that they were excited for the series. That's the only way I can see this actually panning out. And unfortunately, they just didn't have the foresight to see how truly awful the series was going to be. And I didn't read the one shot, and I don't think I'm going to.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give the one shot the benefit of the doubt.
If it's at all comparable, though, it's like it does not take long to feel how bad it is. Genuinely, within the first couple pages, I was already kind of losing my mind.
I think there's something that happens sometimes where people project what they hope the series is going to be onto a series when that is not the series. Like they read this and they're like, oh, the idea of like a battle manga with a character who's obsessed with studying, that could theoretically be interesting. That's not what the series is about.
Not only is it not what it's about, but also, like, is that premise even that interesting? Is it even, like, that good?
No.
It feels...
Rem's idea was much more interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's interesting either, but some people could. I don't know.
Why is there the Duolingo owl coming out of Sean's mouth right
He's sleeping.
now? Okay. Yeah, he was sleeping. Sean very passive-aggressively saying he's not talking enough during this recording.
That's just what happens when I lose tracking. I lose my little cat boy spirit.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. He's back.
So, Sean, what's on your mind, sleepy boy?
Well...
You just fell asleep again.
I did that on purpose. What is on my mind? God. So I just pulled up the one shot, even though I said I wasn't going to. And let me tell you, just skimming through it, there's no difference.
I assumed it wasn't.
This art, reading the one shot, you must have been like, at the very least, this art is atrocious.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It looks like he's putting in a little more effort for the one shot, like he took a little more time. But aside from, what the fuck is that? What? Hold the fuck on.
What is happening?
Yeah, hold on. I'll put this in the chat. You'll see.
No.
Mostly it's the top left panel that gets me, but like the whole page is a mess.
Oh.
I don't.
What the hell?
What? I can't.
I don't know if that's any kind of anatomy.
I miss the smell of blood. I can't hold myself back. God.
Again, the hands are hilariously bad.
Yep.
Holy shit. Like, I'm not even like, look, drawing hands.
Hands are hard,
Hands
man.
are hard. A lot of people struggle with hands. I've struggled with hands. These are the worst hands I've ever seen.
Oh, and one more full page panel just for flavor, because there is no god on this green earth. No, I don't know. There's no excuse for why this got serialized, because look at this.
That's pretty bad.
And the cops are coming for me.
Holy shit, that is a massive book and tiny hands.
But also how he's holding the book.
He's got his fingers between the pages, kind of, like...
That's just Paper Cut City.
Only his fingertip.
Yeah.
Anyway, I also want to say they never actually resolved that they have to repair the wall in 3-day plot.
No,
It's
because
just
it got
completely
canceled before that.
What did
Yeah.
they resolve?
It's
What
true.
the fuck did they resolve?
That's true.
They used resolve a lot,
Yes.
Oh.
Rem, and then they reverse resolved it.
Anyway, I do also want to resolve some of Maxie B's notes where they said, you get the idea that Jump editorial really wanted SWOT gone because they didn't have a replacement ready when they canceled it.
That's so good.
Yeah, and then they also want to know how terrible the author's handwriting is in the bonus material. Yeah, and the author has admitted he's not good at drawing women. Like, who would have thought?
Oh, but he's good at drawing men. So
Yeah, it's real stellar at that.
Respectfully disagree.
no.
What if this is Rob Liefeld?
Rob Liefeld is better than this.
He is actually. All right, anyway, let's get into the final verdicts. Let's get some 6-word summaries from the community. Maxi B, oi, he's a SWAT, what? OTR, the Flame Flamer, SWAT the fucking L Knight. Armored Queen, building UFO surely revolves, identifying it. There you guys go. Diego says, red hair weaponizes autism, somehow robot laser beam returned.
Oh, God. Hey, you guys know what Robot Laser Beam's about, right?
Is it about a robot laser beam?
No, it's about golf.
Oh, of course.
It's about weaponized autism playing golf.
It's about an autistic guy
God.
being good at golf. Yeah.
But he's good at golf because of his autism.
Because he can shoot things in a straight line that's like a laser beam. Yeah.
And he's a robot because he's autistic. Isn't that just a great message from the author? Reading Kill Blue, which is by the same author, and it's way better. Anyway, Dude Rock said, just go watch Windbreaker instead. Jersey Luck said, unintelligible fighting oddity makes poor choices. Lord Anubis swatted away in no time flat. Spubby, strength, opportunities, threats, none. Weakness, everything. The Laughing Fool, is this a thing people say? No, it's not. And T Wolfwood said he should have stopped with Zon. And then Rem, drop it for us, my guy. What was your 6-word summary?
My 6-word summary, it is just 6 different screams of increasing desperation.
Oh, good. Let's hear it.
I think he finished.
Yeah.
He definitely finished with that last one. That's going to be Sean's new ringtone. You guys can sell as an MP3 for your patrons. Sean, how about you on that now?
I would rather admire David's statue.
Thank you. All right. Jordan, how about you?
I have a couple. Probably should have studied making manga.
Ooh.
Yep.
Blood, Bits of Sick, which
I love it.
is, of course, a Garth Marenghi reference.
God, I love that show.
Yeah.
Mine are the Q in SWOT stands for quality.
Very good.
And as interesting as a SWOT analysis, which do you guys know what those are?
I mean, yeah, they came up when I tried to Google what the fuck a SWOT
Yeah,
was.
okay. That's a thing from
Yeah.
business school, which I've never have found useful in my entire life.
What does this stand for, David?
The T is threats, opportunities. I was going to say the W is weapons, which is definitely not right. Weaknesses, it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Shonen business school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swords, weapons, offense
Oni-chan.
tactics. Oni-chan tactics.
Oni-chan tactics. I love it.
The less popular Final Fantasy sequel.
Oni-chan tactics is like a
God.
dating sim, like SRPG. Like,
I love it.
I'd play it.
Jordan, can you please read to Sean and Reb what my note says about if this is a flop or not?
David just wrote, "Oh Mao."
All right, so this is definitely a certified
This
flop.
is like the certified flop, kind of, you know?
Obviously, yeah.
I still, reading this is re-verified for me, this is still not the worst thing we've ever read.
It's because, like, we can't even figure out what the content is to tell if it's offensive or not, almost. Like, it's just, it's such a fucking mess that, like, I don't know.
So Jordan, what should someone check out instead of this?
Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
Love it. How about you, Rem?
Anything else?
No, you've got to give us something,
Give us,
big
it
guy.
stole
doesn't
my
even have
line.
to be related.
It doesn't
just
have to be
something.
an anime.
Just something.
You know, watch the great works of Mike Flanagan, any of his movies, any of his series.
There you
Good
go.
shit. Completely unrelated, but it's all so much better.
I'm looking this up so I can watch your favorite and say I don't like it.
Good luck. You're gonna watch it and be like, "Fuck, this is really good."
It's
'Cause
real
that's,
good.
That's essentially what happened to me on our episode of it.
Oh my god. Oh, he made Hush. I fucking hate that movie.
It's a great movie. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, Dr. Sleep. That movie was so boring. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. I thought
About
Dr.
to
Sleep was
shank
great.
a bitch.
Sean, what's up?
On the subject of art that's not the best, just read Mob Psycho 100.
There you go.
It does everything so perfectly and wonderful, and it's my favorite anime of all time.
It's amazing.
Sean, have you been reading Bug Ego?
I have not, no.
It's amazing.
Oh god, it's by one as well. It's super good. He has like another really talented
I
art.
will need to jump on it.
This boy finds a notebook that has real life hacks in it, and it's just him and his friend going on like adventures and shit. Like the one I always like is it's like if you go to the store and then your receipt in yen is your height in centimeters +1, and you put it on your shoe and sleep overnight, you grow a centimeter in height, and it's just like crazy shit like that.
Okay, so full slice of life comedy 1 stuff. I'm here for it.
Exquisite.
Yeah, I always describe it as teenagers doing real life speedrunning tricks.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the artist is amazing.
But then on my end, you know what actually I think is, if this series, what the author is trying to do with the series, if it was done well, I am actually going to say go read Kagurabachi, because that's pretty much what this author was trying to do.
Every morning I wake up with fresh hatred.
So it's the most Kino manga. Actually, Kagurabachi is fake Zan, but close enough.
It's look, reading Kagurabachi is vastly preferable to reading either Zan or SWOT.
Yeah.
Like, not even remotely close, because it's at least kind of good. Like,
And you know what's preferable to reading either of those as well?
What?
Wrapping up this podcast. Let's get into that section. Sean and Rem, thank you so much for joining us on this 5-year journey. This is our first main episode with 2 guests, and by God, we're never going to do it again. This was awful.
Oh, gee, thanks.
No, I'm just kidding. You guys set the bar way too high, and Dylan, I'm sure, is not going to be happy with me about the editing that this is going to take, but it was worth it. So would you guys mind telling the audience where they can get more of your greatness?
Absolutely. Once again, we are the hosts of Anime Out of Context, the show where we attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. We're there. We're happy to have you listen to us and yell at us like everybody else does. And if you want us more frequently live, well, at least I'm on Twitch pretty regularly.
Oh, I love it. Is there any episodes you think someone should check out you've done recently?
perhaps
we recently
with guests on it, maybe?
Yeah,
exactly.
Or openly insulting someone on the show throughout the recording?
Hey, it's not openly insulting. It is lovingly slapping you in the face every once in a while.
I mean, I believe there are 2 episodes where where at least half the episode is attacking David specifically.
Yes.
Like,
If you like the Flop Boys, we recently did an episode on Dan Da Dan, or you can check out the first episode we did with them, which was My Dress Up Darling. And that is a lovely experience that definitely didn't get some heckles raised. But if you want just more of me and Rem having a bit of a laugh, having a bit of a banter, just pick your favorite anime that you love dearly.
Oh, fuck.
And tune into that episode if we have one of it, and you will immediately find out if you're able to handle what we can put out.
You'll quickly you'll have strong feelings one way or another.
Like Sword Art Online fans, you'll have a great time.
especially if your favorite anime is Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
God, I don't know how to handle that. Oh, but that is awesome. No, but for real, I've greatly enjoyed getting to talk to you guys. It's definitely been one of the highlights of podcasting. Thank you so much for being on. And I want to say props to Jordan, of course, for making the opening ending thing, being your great host, and hopefully with the editing.
Thank you, David, for all the work you do on the show.
No problem. Props to Lyle for the awesome cover art. Find her online at Lyle Murr, and Nigel for being our generous art benefactor. Thank you, Dylan, for assistance with editing. You can find his podcast, which was just said, Anime Out of Context. Thanks to Tucker and Maxie B for assistance.
Where can they find it, David?
Wherever goods are sold.
Or animeoutofcontext.com.
Not AOC, that is a politician. Thanks to Tucker and Maxie B for assistance with pronunciation, translation, and other miscellaneous research. Tucker, I hope you had a great time in Japan. You can find us on Blue Sky/X at Shonen Flop, Tumblr Shonen-Flop, and our website shonenflop.com. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever else you get your podcasts. And come join the Shonen Flop Discord. It's open to everyone. Hang out with us, talk about anime games, whatever else is on your mind. And we even have a manga book club and movie nights. Find a link to it in the show notes or on our site, shonenflop.com. Jordan, now's your chance to plug whatever you want.
Thank you to my lovely girlfriend, Steph. And check out Mission Ignition on my other podcast that may update at one point. Who knows? Maybe never, probably. And check out my Instagram where I'm oil painting again, Jordan Forbes Art.
I love it. And then I also want to give a wonderful shout out to my beautiful wife, Rachel, who is out right now with my wonderful dog, Ravioli, enjoying Chateau de Wolf. Ravioli is just a silly goober. And so let's get into the sign off. Thank you so much for joining us. Tune in next Monday as we give our full thoughts on Doten Prism Solar Car. This has been David.
This has been Jordan.
This has been Sean.
This has been Remington.
And you've been listening to Shonen Flop.
Keep on flopping, floppers.
Yeah.
Bye.